And one of the most alarming warnings is coming from someone who lived under Soviet rule and knows exactly where this road leads. Stella Escobedo is an Emmy Award winning journalist with nearly 20 years of experience. Before covering U.S. politics and global events, Stella lived through Jewish persecution in the former Soviet Union and has seen exactly how propaganda, socialism, and anti Semitism take root. I sat down with her recently at the Republican Jewish Coalition Summit. Take a look. Stella, great to have you with us. And your story is really living the American dream. I mean, coming from Uzbekistan, making your way to the United States. Talk a bit about, though, your experience under Soviet communism. You were a young girl, of course, and the cautionary tale that presents for we here in the West when we have someone like Zoran Mamdani about to become mayor of New York City.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at me, you think I'm just like a California girl, right? Like, I do live in California. But then when you hear about my story, yeah, I'm a Soviet Jewish refugee. I grew up under communism. The stories that my parents told me, yeah, I was 7 years old at the time. But even seeing what's happening in New York City and my parents telling me stories like, who's going to pay for all the stuff that Zohran Mandami is proposing? Oh, all the free grocery stores. Do they understand what happens? I mean, we had lines and lines, my mom and dad telling me, and by the time you get to the store, there's like no bread left. Growing up under communism is very, very serious. It's not capitalism, how they're trying to portray it. And the sad truth is, I think Americans don't understand. Many Americans don't understand because they live in comfortable United States of America. And growing up under communism as a Jew, I knew I was a Jew growing up in Uzbekistan, but it wasn't anything you really talked about. You just knew you were, and that was it. And my father tells me stories that during Passover, they would have to get matzah delivered to the house in pillowcases. This is how Jewish people lived under communism and, in Uzbekistan. And so when I came to the United States, I was told that there's no Jew hatred in America. And I never understood how the Holocaust happened. My grandparents talked about it all the time until October 7th happened.
Yeah.
And as an adult, it just, I realized, wow, the propaganda machine
Yeah.
is out of control in Russia. And when you see now what is happening with the Jew hatred in America after October 7th, and so many people brainwashed because of the algorithms on social media, and it's so overwhelming because everybody is living in this echo chamber, and now the Jews are to blame for everything.
Yeah. Less than 1% of the world's population.
Less than yeah, and we're the yeah, your toilet is broken, it's the Jews. Blame the Jews. Blame the Jews for everything. And it's really hard because I have 2 children. I have a 4-year-old and a 9-year-old. And, my 9-year-old is now being exposed to some of this stuff, and she's asking me questions. She's like, "Why don't people like us? I don't understand. Why is this war happening? Oh my goodness, they attacked us, but why don't they like us?" Try to explain that to a young child. But, they're being exposed to this at a young age that I have to tell her, like, anti-Semitism is cancer.
It's the world's oldest state.
It's the world's oldest hatred. It just reinvents itself. This time around, it's reinvented itself as Zionists. Well, we don't hate Jews. We hate Zionists.
Just the world's one and only Jewish state.
Just the world's yawn. Yes, and it's always the Jews' fault. It's always the Jews' fault. And the problem is really we face an uphill battle with the media because we're always on the defense. It's like there's always something that comes out there, the social media, the propaganda, and we're always playing defense, defense. And sometimes I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this really what people believe? And it's we're always behind, 10 steps behind.
Yeah, we're here at the Republican Jewish Coalition Summit in Las Vegas. We've come to expect anti-Semitism, sadly, from the radical left, from Islamists. We have it on the woke right now as well. It seems that that's the one thing all these divergent ideologies can agree on, Stella. They don't like the Jewish people, and they don't like Israel.
It's a horseshoe theory now. It's like that's literally, if you notice, they agree on it and they don't like Israel, but they won't say we don't like Israel. We are just criticizing the Israeli government. But then when you hear their conversations, no, they're not just criticizing the Israeli government. Oh, and then they talk about Zionists. And then now they're straight up talking about Jews, but they're still just criticizing the Israeli government. So let's be honest. Which one is it? You can't have it both ways because they'll say things like, the propaganda machine out there is like, well, October 7th, the IDF, they attacked, the IDF were the ones who attacked, the the people there in Israel, right? But then they'll say, but there was a stand down order. Well, which one was it? Did the IDF kill the innocent Israelis, or was there a stand down order? So when you actually peel away their propaganda, it starts to fall apart. But it's the social media, it's the algorithm that's killing us right now.
How do we fight back? You and I are doing it right now. Of course, we're doing it at this event. How do we continue to push back on this?
I always tell people just continue to push back. And people always tell me, but I don't have a big platform like you do. It doesn't matter. Have those conversations with 5 people, 6 people, and tell those people if you can change the mind of a few people and then they can change the mind of other people. I think there's enough people in the middle, enough people, moderates, who will say, oh, you know what? I just didn't know. I don't know if you get this a lot, but sometimes people are like, well, I just don't know enough about the Middle East. Yeah. It's so complicated. It is so complicated. It really is. You cannot have these conversations about the Middle East, like why some people can't vote in the West Bank. They'll say, well, Israel is an apartheid state and Muslims can't vote in the West Bank. It's like, well, you can't have a fair conversation without talking about the Oslo Accords. That's the Palestinian Authority's fault. And so they try to erase history altogether and just point everything to Israel. And Israel is under a microscope. Look at what's happening in Sudan. Look at what's happening in Nigeria. Like true genocide in Sudan right now. According to the Sudanese Tribune, 500,000 children have died. Some of them most of them really from starvation. But they're having a genocide and a civil war since 2023, April of 2023, before October 7th. And then Nigeria, hundreds of thousands of Christians are being slaughtered. President Trump came out and talked about it. I'm so happy he's talking about it because that is a genocide.
Yeah. Talk about President Trump's leadership on this issue, Stella, with Israel, obviously the most pro-Israel president in American history. Talk about the importance of him being back in office and the great things that are happening for really not only Israel and America, but for the world because of his leadership.
What I love about him is he is unapologetic of where he stands. He's been accused of so many different things, but his daughter Ivanka converted to Judaism. He has Jewish grandchildren. He says what he means and he means what he says. And he has stood for the Jewish people. This is why so many Jewish people voted for him. Yeah. This time around, especially. He likes to say, I do so much for the Jewish people. I created the Abraham Accords. He always says that. And he's like, and I just barely get the Jewish vote. This time around, he got more Jewish people to vote for him. And you'll hear people say, this is what I voted for. Yeah. This is what I voted for. And, he's just getting started. And I hope he will do more to fight the Jew hatred that we're seeing in this country. And continue to fight for the only Jewish state in the world.
And he's getting things under control, holding these colleges, universities accountable. Thank God.
Ground zero, let the UK and Europe be a warning, because anytime these people, these jihadis, they take over, okay, they're not giving it back. And that's what we have to remember. When they conquer, they're not giving it back. They're not giving it away. Use the Middle East as an example. Use Lebanon. Use Syria. Use all of those countries.
Bethlehem and Israel completely flipped.
You have to think this is why it's important to understand the Middle East. It flips, they're not giving it back. So you think if they come to America and they take over, they're giving it back?
Sharia law for one and all, whether you like it or not. That's what it boils down. Stella, well said. Great job. We appreciate it. God bless. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. God bless.